Change the world by thinking small. Yes, 1%, just a 1% differential can change you from living where you're at to having a maximum benefit, to changing to maybe even being that 1% of wealth in the US. It's been said that 1% of earners, the top 1%, earn at least $516,000 a year. Now we know, we've heard of Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and all those people that are at the top end, Jeff Bezos, all those people that are sitting at the top, but there's a lot more people in that 1% than just a few that we see on the Forbes list. But what I'm talking here today is about that 1% that leaders need to accomplish. And they do every day if they're truly effective. They know that, as John Maxwell says, law of the process, leaders grow not in a day, but daily. So you don't create a leader today, boom, you're a leader. But it takes time. It takes a process. What's key to that? Consistency. Consistency of application, consistency of focusing on the process of seeing what is the 1%, what can I change one thing that will have a benefit? And it might be in multiple areas. So there's a story here about Sir David Brailsford and the British cycling team. And they haven't been able to produce a rider who won the Tour de France. And Sir David thought that you could change 1% and it would mean a difference. And so they applied that to the team. But the team worked on it together. They said, okay, we have to believe it together, because if individually, if we did 1%, that 1% is going to be, okay, it's going to be for our impact, but it won't help the team reach. The goal of the team was to reach and have a winner in Tour de France and other racing events that they applied and participated in. So Team Sky went on to do this, and they won the title in 5 years. That's what the goal was. But instead they did it in 2.5, because they worked on things in this time. And they also have 16 gold medals in the last 2 Olympics. So it works if you apply 1%. What is it that you're applying 1%? How are you changing your daily process to improve it? Now, that you may not be racing, but you may be able to figure out something, how better to eat. In fact, this team found, that they focused on nutrition and made things a little bit better. They focused on the aerodynamics of the bike and the comfort of the seat. But it came from unpredictable areas. They found a pillow that provided better sleep so that they had more energy to go out on the course. They discovered the correct sleeping posture. Again, a 1% sleeping gain. Again, more rest, you feel better, you're recovering from the last day's activities, you're now pushing ahead and have more energy. And then a sanitizer. Well, you wouldn't think, it's a hand sanitizer, but they found a hand sanitizer that killed the bacteria and prevented sickness more effectively than what they were doing. So when you take all those areas, those 3 areas, and then other things they were focusing on in nutrition and other items that they daily improved by 1%, they had amazing results, and that's how they were able to deliver big. So delivering 1% daily leads to big gains over time. What do you have to do? There's 3 things really to focus on. 1, look at the feedback that you get from your customers or your family. Are you really helping them improve? Are you working together for that goal of how can we be more efficient in the morning? Or perhaps how can we be more efficient in that which we want to do? We want to work with the community and change something, or go and provide another youth activity. So as a family unit, we decided we want to participate in that and we want to help. What are you doing to make a 1% difference? So getting that feedback from others helps to improve the process, and you got to welcome that. How many times do you go into a store and you've not heard anybody say, "Hey, how'd you like our service?" When you check out, do they just say, "Oh, thanks, see ya"? Do they even say that? Do they even acknowledge you other than say, "Here's your money," and go on to the next customer? Are you at a restaurant and does the waiter say to you, "How was my service? I really want to know. How can I be better?" There might be a feedback card on the table, or they might say, "Go look on our app and submit something," or there's a receipt and you get, something off your next visit. Do those, but take the time. If somebody has done really great for you, has provided the best service for you, or maybe not, tell that person. And if you can't flag them down, then talk to their manager. Take a time to make a difference in that person, to help them be better. Because you're not going to come back to that restaurant if you're just going to say, "Well, that was lousy service. I'm never coming back here again." It was one incident, one person maybe having a bad day. Maybe that person needs a little more, they just started and they're carrying their habits over from a different restaurant or a different employment, and they don't really have all the skills. Give them my name. That's it. Give them my name. I'll help them. But take the time to provide feedback, and in the same way, get feedback from the people that you serve. Whether it's your family, whether it's the people at work, whether it's the clients that you serve. Ask them, "What could I do to make this a better experience for you?" And then implement it. Be cautious and look at it. Hi, Mark, welcome. We're talking about that 1% that we could do to change the world by thinking small. And we were talking about Sir David Brailsford and the British cycling team and how they found 1% things that they could do, how they could add a better pillow, how they could find a better sleeping posture, how they could find a better sanitizer. And they had big wins then because they did a whole bunch of 1% things. What are you doing in your life to be 1% in many areas? And it doesn't take a whole lot. So we talked briefly that you need feedback from others. You also need to have realistic expectations. You're not going to change the world. You need to focus in on a very small task. You might say, "Well, I've got to change this whole process. It doesn't work. We're going to change the whole process." And I know in my life, we would say that. We would say, "This process doesn't work. There's no way this is working. We just, it's not working. We got to change it. We got to eliminate it, or we've got to have heads roll." And yet it might be just one thing that says, "Hey, this is what I could change." And it would mean a complete reversal. What's the turning point? Where is it the point that you're going to say, "I can make a difference in what I do, and I'll have more success. I'll be happier. I will be more energetic. I'll be more joyful. And people around me will be happier." What's the thing that you're going to do today to take that one step, one small step, and make it better? And finally, for the team needs to have this freedom to experiment, to say, "What if we try this? Let's see what happens." We become scientists of our own. So leaders are scientists. Leaders love to dig in and say, what are the things that I can alter? If encourage my team to do, to give them the room, to help them and guide them, and perhaps mentor them if they need mentoring, but give them the power to make a decision and not come down hard on them if they fail. Just simply give them a hand up and say, okay, that didn't work. What's your next idea? Or what's the team's idea? Bring it back to the team to work together to peg and measure and set the goals and create something that evolves from where it is to be better, to serve. Remember, we talked, if you do, we talked a few episodes ago about being able to change and to focus and to say, what's that one thing? What's one thing I can do in my life to make it a better life? How can I have my thoughts aligned with my heart and to act intentionally, to care about others through those intentions, and to build kinship? We talked about that. We talked about a couple other things that relate to this, a couple other ways that you could find that 1%. Though I didn't say it 1%, but what's that small step? If you're speaking, if you're going to do a presentation, what's that 1% that you can simply go and say, boom, there it is. There's that 1%. I can set myself, I can practice one more time. I can really write the speech more effectively. I can get better sleep. I could practice in front of the family dog. How many speakers that I've heard, man, the dog knows my speech better than I do. Gives me the greatest feedback. So Mark has shared these comments. Share the best of your feedback with kindness, care, and sincere insight. Absolutely. One small thing may be insignificant to you, yet may be extraordinary to others. Yeah, that's a great point. Just because you think it's an insignificant item, it may mean the world to someone else. It may mean heartwarming. It may take them from doldrums, from their stuck, from their no way out perspective. And you made one improvement in their life, and boom, they've come out of that, and they feel that somebody's there alongside, and they are going for it. They're changing their momentum. It's the law of process by John Maxwell. As he writes it, remember, is we grow as leaders not in a day, but daily. We have to be consistent. We talked about the rule of 5. The rule of 5 allows us to say, what are 5 things I could do today that I need to do consistently every day to be better who I am? And they're in 5 different areas. So you could say, okay, I'm going to be a speaker, or I am a speaker. I'm going to read, write, file, reflect, and connect. I'm going to ask others questions. Well, that's great. Okay, so you're going to do that every day. But if you do that every day, you're going to get to a goal. You're not going to surpass the goal faster. You're not going to get there. Some people have indicated you have to spend 10,000 hours to become an expert in something. Well, you can, just march out time. I'm going to read a book for 10,000 hours. Just keep reading books, 10,000 hours worth. Okay, so I've improved my reading comprehension. But at some point, the gains don't come as fast as they were before. So you have to increase that peg a little bit. Do something a little bit more, like read for comprehension. Read a little faster. I could read one book for 10,000 hours. It's like looking at one word or one sentence and just focus on that for 10 minutes, for an hour. Yeah, I can focus on that. So by the end of 10,000 hours, I may have read the book. What does that do for you? So you have to, what are you going to do to find that place that you're going to improve upon to say, if I did this 1% better, if I did one thing better, I found the one product that gave me better sleep, I exercise 1% stronger instead of saying I'm going to move forward at 3% speed on the treadmill. What if I put it up to 3.1? Give you a little extra boost, right? Or if I'm doing it at 5, what if I did that 1% better? 10% better. Don't overdo it, right? Keep the realistic expectations going. Yeah, you could probably on a treadmill go to 5.1 very easily. 5.5 may be a stretch. You may be able to work that over time because you're putting in 1% more each day, right? Or each time you go out. You're going to work a little bit harder. We don't tap into the whole 100%. So if you're saying, I give 100% to everything I do, that's 100% of what you think you can do. There was an exercise in a LeaderCast program that I attended. And this was a soldier from, had retired. So he said, just close your eyes and reach high and hold that for a minute. As high as you can go. Okay, and then he told everybody relax. And then just close your eyes, take it to that same point, and try a little harder. And people around me said, wow, there was extra reserves. Our body has extra reserves. We're not giving our 100%. There's much more than just that little stretch and going a little further. There's a lot more within you. So take the time today to figure out what's that 1% you can change. Morning, Lisa. Welcome. Yeah, leaders are super committed scientists because not only are they focused on it themselves, but they're getting the team around them to focus too, to come together and work towards a better day, towards a better culture. What do you think you can do and take it further? That's the apex. That's the apex level, thinking and acting and living. Be well today. Join me again tomorrow, and we'll continue our discussion about how we can change ourselves to make it better tomorrow. But we're going to improve today first. Be well. See you soon. And don't forget, you can change and take your cycling with a team, thinking about how you can improve, and you too can have the results that Sir David had. In your own way, with your own things, with your own day. Make a difference today. Make a 1% better day. See you soon.